know we was getting ready to record.
I did know we was getting ready to record. I thought I did have it fixed, but
okay.
We've been trying to record since 8:30, 9 o'clock this morning. Here it is, 10:25.
Yeah, it is. And now we down one. We down from 3 to 2.
3 to 2.
No, I got you.
But as we know, the show must go on regardless.
The show, one monkey don't stop the show.
Terrible reference in this moment. You know
that is terrible reference.
Is that racist? Hey, you know,
that racist if I'm black?
Most of us don't think that is, because if we say it, it's okay. But if another culture or ethnicity group say it, they're wrong. It's two left feet.
That is very true. That is very true. But that happens for a lot of stuff, not just that comment. But you're saying it kind of reminds me of I was watching a video this morning with the whole MONIQUE and Steve Harvey debate.
What they were talking about, man?
Oh man, come on, man! Tell me you know about the debate they got going on.
About what men and women shouldn't do?
No, man, you didn't see the video, the YouTube video. Well, the actual interview that Steve had with MONIQUE.
No, what is it?
MONIQUE was upset that with the whole Netflix deal and another deal, she didn't feel like she was getting equal.
About the equal share of the money.
Yes, equal share of the money, right? So,
but they never asked her to do a deal yet.
She goes on Steve Harvey's show to say that she was upset with Steve as her brother because he didn't step up and say in public that she did nothing wrong. He didn't have her back in public, so she was upset.
Now that's a rough situation to say that he did not have her back in the public eye.
She felt like Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry all told her in private that she did nothing wrong. But nobody would step out in public and say, my sister did nothing wrong. Y'all doing it wrong by blackballing. So now she steps out.
Is she really being blackballed by Netflix?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's way above me right there. You know what I'm saying? But she said she being blackballed because nobody's offering her a job.
What her numbers look like? What does her last stuff did? You know?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? You know, MONIQUE has been kind of out. I mean, in my mind, you know what I'm saying, out of the limelight for a minute. So, I mean, to come back in as if you never left.
The last movie she did was with Danny Glover, and he was trying to sell the house because his wife had passed, and the son was trying to run for a government office. It was
this Christmas, some kind of Christmas movie.
Christmas
something like that. Movie. It was a Christmas movie, whatever case may be.
That's the last thing I know
whatever.
she did.
But
she did stand up?
Then she did a stand up, which was another issue that Steve Harvey brought up. Was that she did a stand-up and told Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, and Oprah Winfrey to suck her you-know-what if she had one. So Steve...
You gonna ask for support and then tell somebody to suck that on you-know-what if you had one?
Hey, look, Steve's whole point was...
We struggle as a people.
Steve... Hey, look, Steve's whole point was you went about this thing completely wrong. Your delivery was just horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying, how can I get your back when you telling these high level people to SMD? That was his whole point. But his whole point, you gotta go and watch the video, man. They had a heated debate back and forth. She felt like she was fighting for a purpose and fighting for a cause.
And the cause was for us as a people?
And the cause was equality, essentially.
Equality for women or equality for black folks?
For black folks and especially black women.
Okay, now the equality for women debate has gone a tremendous mile here lately, and I have no problem with the young ladies getting what's due to them and how it's due to them. It's the thing of when will you say what is rightly for you enough for you?
Right. That's what you're saying. You don't know, but the debate still goes on. Steve Harvey's point was, you can't be out here acting the same way you act at home as black people. So his point was, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, look, it's okay to fight for a cause, but you can't go so far as to just completely just burn all bridges because you're angry and for a cause. And what he was saying is that in order for us to be able to help us, talking about Steve Harvey and MONIQUE, in order for them to be able to help other people, they got to be part of the rich so that they have it to give to other people.
He was the rich. No, I would figure more or less to be a part of the affluent, those that be able to influence and help those who make these type of decisions. Okay, look, go this route. I believe this will be better because of who they are. Because if you get a Lee Daniels, Oprah, Steve, you get all their backs. The next level up of producers and directors and so-called quote unquote the big decision makers will say, okay, well, each one of these folks have 2-point-some billion followings. Okay, they have a little weight for us to think about it in order to have our decision.
100%. 100%.
I just don't think she wants to play she don't want to play the game, quote unquote, that she has to play.
Exactly.
And she didn't feel like, maybe she felt like she shouldn't have to play the game with her own people. When in all honesty, whether it's your people or not, you still got to play the game, and you got to play the game at a high level.
You do have to play the game. But, it was kind of one of those things where the whole interview blew up. And then after the interview blew up, then, Monique comes back and she's posted social media and stuff like that, essentially calling Steve Harvey and Uncle Tom a house nigga, to be exact, just because of his way of thinking.
Without the house Negro, we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have made it as far, because the house Negro was able to give the inside track of how to get away from the slave master.
Man, look, I understand.
Everybody has their role in life,
right?
And once you embrace your role, you'll be able to help more and do more. But as soon as you stop trying to do that and go against it, or act like what your role is, letting somebody else dictate that your role is not important, then at that moment we've diminished what we need to do as a group.
I do. I think some of our people get to the point where, they're so angry at what's going on in the world, it completely diminishes anything that anybody ever does, good or bad. So if somebody ever does something that they're trying to do in a positive light, or they're trying to be fair and honest, it's looked at as inequality, or they're trying to do something maliciously against us, which is not always the case. So I think a lot of times, the response doesn't necessarily warrant, kind of angry protests and all this other stuff, but sometimes it does.
And in some ways, you're right, it does not always warrant that. But also, some discussions should be left behind closed doors. Like that discussion, how she felt about whether or not Steve had her back. They should have took that back to the house over a drink. They could have cussed and fussed at each other then and there, and then came to a resolution and came out before the people as one unified front. As a people, we have got to stop trying to call one another out in places that we feel that we can have the upper hand. Social media, YouTube, Twitter, on these different type of interviews, we got to these stages as working together as a people. We didn't get to those places by, I'm gonna do what I want to do when I get mad, and you do what you want to do when you get mad, and go your separate ways. It took a lot of people coming together to get us there. And so while we're there, let's continue the same efforts. Okay, well, look, if we got the problem, all right, come on back here. We're going to eat. We're going to talk about it. If we got to argue about it, that's fine. If we're going to cuss each other about it, that's fine too. But we just going to do it in the back. And then once we get through with that, hopefully we'll come back out and say, okay, this is how we're going to handle it going forward. Because a lot of times it's just people want to be heard. A lot of times we just want to be heard, understood, and like really, really know. Like, say, man, are you really there for me? We are one and the same. You know what I'm saying? And I want the same thing that you achieved, just like you want the same thing I achieved. How can we do this together?
Absolutely. And as well with that, I think we kind of as a people have to get to the point where, it becomes not okay for us to disrespect us. But it's a kind of a storm, or it's kind of a major argument when another race or another color disrespects us. So then we want to protest. But for Monique to sit here and talk about what other people are doing to her, blackballing or whatever the case may be, but yet turn around and disrespect us, by saying suck my in. She said that out in public, right?
Right. So
and then she never kind of really apologized for it. But it's okay for you to do that, for you to disrespect your own kind that way. But it's not okay for Netflix or whoever else you have a disagreement with to disrespect you just because they're another color. It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of hypocritical in a way. Anyway,
you know what I mean? That's our Black History moment for today. Even though Black History is every day of the month, we are innovating, creating as a people all the time, not just in the month of February. So we have had our discussion about it.
Absolutely